Living longer, living healthier, living better than ever before. Welcome to Mountain Pacific's Healthy Living for Life, a weekly series that gives you the information, education, and expert insight you need to become an active participant in today's ever-changing healthcare climate. Here now is today's program host.
As babies, we're soothed by the gentle lull of our mother's voice as she sings us to sleep. As teens, our generation is defined by the music that climbs the charts. As adults, we realize that music will forever serve as the soundtrack of our lives. So it's no wonder then that music has a substantial therapeutic benefit. Today, we'll talk about the therapeutic side of music. I'm Janet Whitmoyer, your host. Welcome to this edition of Healthy Living for Life. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Today we're visiting with Cheryl Sobek, a certified music therapist from Chaudere Children's Hospital here in Helena. We'll be exploring what music therapy is and who it benefits. Thanks for being with us today, Cheryl.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here.
Good. Let's start off with having you tell us a little bit about what you do and what got you into music therapy.
When I was first considering a career, I was very interested in music. I also liked math, and I considered special education, and I thought, I don't know which one I really want to do. And I happened to see a pamphlet on music therapy and realized that that combined all of those things that I was interested in. So at that point, I decided to pursue that degree. I went to school in Wisconsin, and I worked there briefly. Then I came to Montana and worked at the children's unit at the state hospital for a time. Then there came a point where Chaudere decided to start psychiatric services, and I was recruited to come to Chaudere to help develop that program.
Oh, that's wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit more about what music therapy really is all about?
Sure. Music therapists do all kinds of things. We can do assessments that check out the emotional well-being of people. We can check their physical health, their social functioning, their cognitive skills. We do that all through music-based interventions. Okay. And we watch what the responses are from those people as they're involved in working with the music. We might do things with music improvisation. We might do lyric analysis. We might do songwriting. We use music listening exercises, movement to music, music and imagery. We do all kinds of things. And it's all to help people work toward whatever goals they need to accomplish in their treatment.
That sounds really interesting. Can you give us a little bit more specific about what some of your music therapy does?
Yeah, music therapy sessions are designed to accomplish a number of things. For example, we might be trying to promote wellness in people, but in addition to that, we might be helping people to alleviate pain or diminish stress in their lives. We help people with feelings, and particularly in my work, I do a lot of work with feelings, helping people to identify feelings and learn to express them safely. We also help people to improve their communication skills. We might do things where we're helping people to improve their self-esteem. We promote interactions. We do all kinds of things with people to make their lives better and more successful for them.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how someone might seek a music therapist? Under what circumstances would they maybe say, this is something that I would really like to do or would be beneficial to me?
Sure. People of all ages and actually people from all walks of life can benefit from music therapy services. And it's used for all sorts of purposes. Music therapists work with children, with adolescents, with adults, with older people. And we do that to, again, help them work toward goals that they're working on in treatment. Music can be designing special tasks that help people to assess cognitive skills, particularly with Alzheimer's people. We can do things where we are checking out other people's level of ability in various areas. We do all kinds of things with people to help them.
This sounds like such a really interesting and unique profession to have. So I'm curious, when you said at the beginning that you had actually gone to college to become a music therapist, can you tell us, can anybody become a music therapist, or what does it really involve to become a music therapist?
In order to be a music therapist, you have to have a lot of knowledge about music, of course, but also psychology and medicine. And one can only practice music therapy if they have a degree in music therapy. That means going to an accredited school and going through the academic part of that, but then also having clinical training after that under a board-certified music therapist. That means doing a 6-month internship. And then finally, the person has to pass a certification board examination before they can practice music therapy.
Well, it sounds pretty rigorous then.
It is.
I have only heard of music therapy recently. Is this a new concept or has it been around for a long time?
The idea of music therapy has actually been around for many, many, many years. In fact, it goes all the way back to medicine men and shamans who would use music in their healing practices. But then in more recent years in this country, after the world wars, when veterans were in hospitals suffering from trauma, whether that was emotional or physical in nature, they began bringing musicians into the hospital, partly just to distract them from all the pain and discomfort. But then they noticed that there were other things beginning to happen with those people, and those responses were positive in nature. So they started looking at having musicians working in hospitals with veterans. And before long, it was decided perhaps people should have more training so that they could truly provide beneficial services through the use of music. So in 1944, Michigan State University developed the first music therapy degree program. And then there were national associations that sprang up after that. One of those was the National Association for Music Therapy. Another one was the American Association for Music Therapy. Both of those organizations would certify people to practice music therapy with the public. But then those two organizations combined, they became the American Music Therapy Association, and another organization was developed called the Certification Board for Music Therapists. That is the agency that does the exam that people have to take, and then they also require continuing education. So music therapists have to constantly renew their certification, and that assures the public that the services being offered to them are quality in nature.
Oh, this has been really great information, and I want to talk to you more about that. We have to go to a break right now, so stay tuned. We'll be back with more with Cheryl after the break. Welcome back to Healthy Living for Life. Today we're with Cheryl Sobek to explore the benefits of music therapy. Thank you for being with us again, Cheryl. I wanted to follow up with what we were talking about before the break, and can you tell us what a typical music therapy session might be like?
Sure. Music therapy sessions, of course, are based on the needs of particular patients and clients, so they may be different in different settings. There's no real typical session, but I can tell you in my work with children and adolescents, much of my work focuses on helping them to identify feelings that are within them, be able to contact those feelings safely, and then express those feelings safely. A lot of the kids that I work with are suicidal in nature, some are even homicidal. It's important that they learn how to manage those feelings safely so that they can move forward with their lives. And music therapy is used in so many other settings as well. For children even, it's used in hospitals to help them prepare for surgery. It can help them alleviate pain in burn centers. It's used with adults in many settings, whether it's in a medical hospital, an oncology unit, in birthing rooms. It's used with the developmentally disabled in their facilities. It's used with people who have substance abuse problems, people who have chronic pain. There's so many different entities in which music therapy is beneficial.
So you've told us a little bit about what music therapy is. Can you touch just quickly on some of the things that are not music therapy interventions?
Music therapy is definitely clinically based, and there's research that provides evidence that the interventions are beneficial. But there are other ways in which you might see music used in facilities. For example, a person may come into a lobby of a hospital and play piano for people, or a choir might come in and perform on one of the units. Or you might see a person with Alzheimer's listening to their favorite music on an iPod. That, however, is not music therapy because those things are not based in clinical evidence. They're beneficial activities, but it's not music therapy. And again, music therapy is only done by a credentialed professional who has completed an approved music therapy program.
I wanted to pick up on the Alzheimer's comment. Can you tell us a little bit about how music therapy benefits an Alzheimer's patient?
Certainly. Music is based in rhythm, just like our human bodies are based in rhythm. And because of that common element, it provides a structure for people to respond to. Thus, when people have Alzheimer's or dementia-related disorders, there's a structure that they can respond to, and it creates some familiarity for them, there's predictability for them, and a sense of security that they don't otherwise have. So people who are in like the late stages of dementia, who seemingly have lost contact with the world around them and don't even recognize their spouse anymore, suddenly come to life, and they're in contact with the real world again as they work with music. And they start singing and dancing and talking. They recognize people again. It is an incredible moment.
That is so amazing. And for people, maybe older people who don't suffer from Alzheimer's, but may benefit from music therapy, can you tell us how music therapy benefits that segment of the population?
Sure. Music therapy can help people who have psychological challenges, physical challenges, social challenges, even cognitive challenges. And again, sessions are formulated to assist people with specific problems. So as you work with those people, you can help them to decrease depression that they might be experiencing. You can help them increase social interactions, give them a sense of control over things in their life again as they experience success within that setting. And you'll see increases in self-esteem, an increase in self-confidence. People begin to interact more with the world around them. They become more aware of their own personal feelings, and they gain insight into issues that might have been troubling them.
So I want to go back even a little farther. Can you, obviously at Chaudere you work with children. Can you tell us a little bit about how music therapy is integrated into kids' lives?
In music therapy, I help the kids learn coping skills that they can take with them when they leave the hospital. It might be making a CD cover to help them bring thoughts and feelings outside of them safely. It might be in helping them learn how to relax and alleviate some of the anxiety that's in their lives. I've also used music therapy in family therapy settings at Chaudere, and it is a tremendous help there when families seemingly get stymied because issues are difficult to talk about, and they suddenly are just stopped and they can't go forward anymore. So we bring some music into the session and do some nonverbal work where people are expressing themselves by using instruments. And before long, they start formulating words that they can use to describe what they're experiencing internally. And the family is able to start moving forward again. Music therapy can help to strengthen some of the bonds within the family and repair some of the bonds that have seemingly been stretched or broken or are in jeopardy in one way or another. So there's many, many different ways that music therapy can help children. And because it's a sensory input technique that's involved there, children can benefit on many different developmental levels because music works through both sides of the brain. So incredible things can happen as you work with music.
This has just been so incredible, Cheryl, and I just want to thank you for sharing all of your information, your talents with us. And I wish we had some music that we could demonstrate here, but I know that we're about out of time, so I just want to thank you again for being with us. And I also want you to stay tuned. We'll be back with more with our next guest right after the break. Welcome back. We're talking about the therapeutic side of music in providing health care. And I would like to now welcome Pam Longmire, Long-Term Care Nursing Home Quality Improvement Specialist with Mountain Pacific Quality Health. Welcome, Pamela, to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Sure. Can you start off by telling us a little bit about what you do at Mountain Pacific?
So as a long-term care quality improvement specialist, I work specifically with nursing homes. And so I do my best to help improve the quality of residents' lives and help train staff so that they give quality care. Most recently, I've been working with the State Survey Agency and Ombudsman to try to bring music and memory into nursing homes across our state because music has such a great impact on people. And I like to say with dementia, it helps breach the silence.
Okay, so when you talk about breaching the silence, can you tell us a little bit more about what you mean by that?
Absolutely. So we in the United States started really studying the impact of music on the mind in the 1950s. But the science goes way back. We can date it back to the 5th century in Asia with the use of like Tibetan bowls. And music just has this awesome way of touching the very mind of a person and helping them to break free and breach that silence because music has such a great impact emotionally on the mind.
So we've talked a little bit earlier about dementia, and I wanted to ask you about that as well. Can you define for us dementia and how it can be tied to music and music therapy, so to speak?
So I like to think of dementia as an umbrella term. A lot of people, they'll say, well, you have Alzheimer's. But what they don't realize is Alzheimer's is one of the many forms of dementia. And so you have vascular dementia, you have Lewy body dementia. There are actually over 100 different types of dementia. And dementia has a way of interlacing and combining. So you might have 2 or 3 different types of dementia. So what is happening with dementia is the brain is slowly dying. And as the brain tissue slowly dies, the neurons that release the chemicals so that you can function to do things like put sentences together, think of what you want to say, work with your memory, that dies with it. What music does that's so powerful is music is actually stored in the right side of your brain, most of it. And for whatever reason, that's one of the last areas of the brain to die, is that right temporal. Music also, because it impacts people so strongly emotionally, the brain, everything is connected together. So when the right music comes on, it can stimulate the entire brain, and that chemical rush will enable abilities.
Can you tell us how music is being used in the nursing home setting to help folks with dementia?
You know, it's really exciting because it brings people back to life. Right now, Janet, there are 20 states that use what's called the Music and Memory Program. It's a not-for-profit organization, and I'm hoping that Montana will start using music and memory. So that's why I'm working with the State Survey Agency and with the Ombudsman and trying to get funding so that personalized music can be used by residents to help improve their quality of life.
So it helps not just the people maybe in a nursing home setting with dementia, but how can the music therapy be used throughout nursing homes with any type of person in a nursing home?
So it helps people connect with their loved ones. It's not just for dementia. I think we focus a lot on dementia because people with dementia, they start losing abilities. You'll see a resident who is having difficulty walking, and you'll put on their music, and something that was played, usually their music goes back to maybe when they were 15 to 21, right in that era of their life. And this person that struggles to walk can get up and dance without a walker or without a cane, just by getting those neurons in their brain to fire. So it helps that. It makes it so that the right music, maybe I can't communicate with you, I don't recognize you as my daughter or my spouse, and all of a sudden I know who you are, and my memories come back because that chemical rush is there, and I'm able to talk to you. And so that really helps you feel like, wow, I have my mom back for a minute, or I have my wife back for a minute. And then it helps staff too, so that they can relate. Because if they feel like they can have a connection with somebody, it's easier for them to give better care.
So I think that was really interesting that you brought up it helping the staff as well as the members or the people that are in the nursing home. Can you tell us about really who benefits from music in the nursing home?
So the staff benefit, the families benefit, the residents benefit. I think families, it really impacts and benefits everybody, because whenever you can get that connectivity and that ability to function better, be it cognitively or physically, then you're all having a better life and a better time together, because you lose some of that resistance and some of the barriers.
You know, I know, Pamela, that you've worked a lot in the nursing home setting with people. Can you share with us some of the stories or a story or two of folks that you have actually worked with where music has been really a mind awakening experience for them?
So, you know, in the nursing home setting, we see it where somebody will come in and they didn't know that they had a love for music, and all of a sudden they'll see a piano in the side of the room or something, and they'll walk in and they'll just start playing music in incredible ways, and they'll have skills that you didn't even know they had. I experienced this with my own grandmother at my parents' 50th anniversary. Here comes Grandma in, and Grandma cognitively wasn't functioning so well, and she came in and there was a piano in the side of the room, and she made her way to that piano, and she sat down and we thought, oh my, what's Grandma gonna do? And here she was playing this absolutely beautiful music. So it has great impact, and I hope that there'll be some websites that people can look up some things so they can see for themselves.
Okay. Well, you've obviously have a great passion for music and for nursing home residents, and I just want to thank you for sharing that passion with us, Pamela. Thank you again, Cheryl and Pamela, for being here today. That's our show this week. Thanks so much for joining us, and until next week, stay fit, stay well, and stay healthy for life with Healthy Living for Life.
Healthy Living for Life is brought to you by Mountain Pacific Quality Health. We'd love to hear from you. If you have suggestions for future programs, visit our website at mpqhf.org or call us at 406-443-4020. You can also catch us on YouTube by visiting our website and clicking on the YouTube icon. Special thanks to Fire Tower Coffee House and Roasters. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions.